What's up, you guys? Welcome back to another episode of Out of the Park Baseball 26, where we are rebuilding the Pittsburgh Pirates. And in today's video, we're going to make our stretch run here in the 2028 season. We're sitting here toward the end of August on the 21st. We have a little bit of baseball left in this season. Just a couple of series remain before we find out our playoff destiny. So the plan for today's video is going to be to work through the remainder of the season together, and we're gonna play some games live toward the end of the month of September, and hopefully there will be some drama for us. As you can see, we're 2 games up currently on Cincinnati in our division, and even if we don't win the division, I think there's still a pretty good chance that we would make a wild card spot as long as we don't totally fall apart. Which would be the first time that we appear in the postseason in the lifetime of this simulation. So we're 3 years in now, 2028. Hopefully this is our year. But we got a lot to look forward to today. I'm really excited about these episodes where we actually get to play the game. They're probably my favorite to do. So I appreciate any support you could throw to the series down below before we get started, just a like or a comment even. I've enjoyed seeing the positive feedback that we got on our draft episode a few episodes ago. I was just that confirmation of okay, we made the right choice going with the center fielder small over the catcher, stuff like that. So if you have any thoughts as we kind of run through this, let me know down below. But before we get started, I guess I wanted to kind of recap a couple of things that we sort of outlined at the end of last episode. If you just watched that one and now you're watching this one, it will, I hate to repeat myself, but we're starting fresh here, so I think it's valuable. We are looking to call up our star pitching prospect, Dan Beebe here, our former number 1 overall pick in the 2027 draft. Had a bit of a health scare earlier in the season, but now he is cooking at the minor league level. He has made 2 appearances at AAA. We're going to allow him to make a 3rd appearance as he's fully rested, so he will be pitching today, Monday, August 21st for AAA. And, I don't really care how this outing goes. If it's fine, or if it's positive or negative, it's not going to impact what we do with him, but we're going to let him start here, and then we will likely call him up toward the end of this week. So I want him to be postseason eligible for us. So I want to get him up before the September 1st call-up date. So it'll likely be sometime in this Colorado series that we make the call to bring in the big guns for our stretch run. And then I think we're also going to look to bring up a couple of other guys at the AAA level, because if you look at just the counting stats and the service level numbers here, we have a ton of guys who are just absolutely mashing down here, and I want to get them up and have them playoff eligible as well, in case we want to maybe leave Brian Reynolds off of our playoff roster or something like that. So a couple of these guys are already on the 40-man, so Edward Lantigua, he'll be fine because he's been on the 40 all year and broke spring training with us and all of that. But we need to get Axel Plaz here, so I think I'm going to send down Endy Rodriguez as he still has options remaining. I just want to get Plaz up and playoff eligible because we only have 2 catchers on our current 40-man roster. If some injury were to happen or something like that, we would have no catching depth, and that worst case scenario makes me a little paranoid. So I think it's likely Plaz makes a debut around the same time as Dan Beebe, and he's been tremendous at AAA. 72 games, OPSing over 1,000, 22 homers, not striking out a ton, walking a good amount. So he doesn't really have much else to prove there, and he's a solid, capable defender. So I don't think we're going to lose much sending Rodriguez down for the time being. I think it's likely just a very temporary kind of just a game of semantics to make sure he's eligible, by the book, by the rules. So I don't think we're going to send Indy down for the long term, but I like Plaz's splits here against left-handed pitching, and our current catcher, Omar Alfonso, is a lefty batter, and he kind of struggles a little bit more against left-handed pitching. So I kind of like to platoon him there, and I think Plaz can fill that role no problem. But we have to also consider who the other call-up is going to be in September, and I'm leaning Edward Lantigua just because he has had like such a quick rise to stardom. He's OPS'd over 1,000 at every level that he's been at over the last 2 seasons. So all the way from A-ball, high A, double A, and now triple A at decent sample sizes at each. He's still relatively new to triple A, but he looks like he can handle the level pretty well, and he looks like he could handle the MLB pretty well as well. So I think it's likely maybe he comes in and gets reps at left and right field, and then we kind of dial back, the rotations, or maybe he even plays center for us as well. Like, we're going to dial back the playing time of guys like Brian Reynolds, and then maybe he's rotating in at center pretty frequently with Cedric Mullins, stuff like that. So I'm kind of leaning toward him, but we still have a bit of game time before we have to make any final decisions. We're going to go through this Toronto series. It's just going to be a really quick break, and then I will rejoin you here on the 24th. We can review how Dan Beebe's start went and then make the corresponding move to call him up into our bullpen. And then we're kind of off to the races from there. We can go ahead and finish out the rest of the month and then start working into September. So lots to look forward to. Let's get it rolling. Okay, guys. We have continued our great play here. We've now won 11 consecutive games. We're 78-50, which is good enough for a 4-game separation at the top of the NL Central. I don't really have any explanations for it. It's just like everything is going just amazing. And we got an email here at some point here kind of acknowledging our 10-game win streak, where our manager says it's a total team effort. Everyone's stepping up to doing their part to help us win. We've been firing on all cylinders, and I couldn't agree more. And it's been a huge morale boost, not just for our players, but also for our fans. I checked into the front office screen, and look at this. We're up to 66 fan interest. This was just, I think it was like literally a 10-point boost in fan interest because we're on such a heater of a win streak. And when you look at our projected deficit, it's now creeping closer to even. It's at 1.4. I think last time we looked, it was maybe at like 3 million-ish. I don't remember that for certain, but the 10-point gain in fan interest is crazy. And now our attendance per game is just 1.3% down year over year. And it, hopefully we can keep this rolling and actually turn a positive figure here. But super, super crazy. We have not yet called up Dan Beebe just because I want him to get one more day of rest, but it's going to happen while we're in this next stretch of simulating. You can see he went 5 innings in his latest game, 86 pitches, struck out 6, only walked 1, gave up 5 hits for only 1 earned run. So overall positive game score. We're going to look to bring him up, like I mentioned, in just one more day after he gets a little bit of rest. And then we're going to likely send down Bubba Chandler to make room for him. Even though Bubba has had, he actually got a 3-inning save in his most recent appearance here. So Bubba has been, a little bit better since we moved him to the bullpen. So maybe this is his, spot long-term for us. But I did end up calling up Axel Plaz just now off camera, so he has yet to debut. But we're just going to give him a couple of games of experience here at the end of August. We have some left-handed pitching matchups here against Colorado, and figure that's a good, situation to put him in, even though he's hitting both sides of the dish, really strongly this season. So I feel like, anytime we can get ABs against Colorado, I think he'll likely perform well. I don't know that he'll end up staying with the team long-term. I may just send him right back down after this series is over and call Indy back up. But again, we're just kind of making sure he's playoff eligible for us here. And like I mentioned, I'll call Dan Beebe up here on the 26th, and then hopefully he'll get some run in these next 5 games following. But we're going to wrap up the end of the month here, and next time I join you, we will recap the performance of our new additions to the team, and then we'll figure out how we're going to attack the actual September call-ups together. But 3 at home against Colorado, then 4 against St. Louis. These games will be pivotal to us as we're, looking to maintain separation against them and St. Louis, or them and Cincinnati in our division. So stay tuned. I'll be back in a sec. Okay, guys, terrible news. Termar is going to be out 6 weeks with a fractured wrist. I think this is maybe one of the worst things that could have happened to us. I don't know that we're prepared for this. He's he's our 3-hole hitter. He's been tremendous this season. We'll have to figure out what the plan is going to be here, but 6 weeks kind of puts his playoff availability into question as well. I think we only have 5 weeks of regular season ball left. If we just look at it here, so this will be 1 week, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then playoffs would presumably start right here, unless we were to get a bye, and then it would likely be a little bit later, in which case he could possibly return in that first series. But gosh, that's brutal. I don't even know how it happened. I mean, it looks like he I guess got hit on the hand. He had no registered at-bats in the game, so maybe it will give us a clue in the game score. Or, yeah, it looks like Dan Beebe got in there. Nice. I'm sorry. He was hit by a pitch, yeah, and got pulled pretty much immediately. So just a tough scene for us there. I think I'll need to figure out what we're going to do in the meantime. We'll just go ahead and put him on the 10-day. I'm looking for any other injuries we may have. We look pretty good here though. But as far as 40-man eligible outfielders, we have no shortage. So we could there are a couple options. We could go with Esther Suero, the switch hitting outfielder who could play capable left. How are his splits? He's definitely more favorable against right-handed pitching. And how are his batting splits here? Okay, he's much more effective against righties than lefties. Not sure he's our answer. I want to look also to, well, we have Wilfredo Antunez. I guess we wouldn't want to, shortchange him. How are his splits against both sides? So he's only, it's such a limited sample. I think we're kind of done on Wilfredo Antunez, guys. I don't foresee us using him. Lantigua, I think this is likely the guy we're going to call up. Solid against both sides. He's not really going to walk against right-handed pitching as much as he would against the left, but he's got good power, good contact, and BABIP. And, yeah, his splits look pretty good both ways there. So it's likely Edward Lantigua makes his MLB debut. I think the other option would be Valdez here if we wanted a little bit more power. He definitely brings that against left-handed pitching and right-handed pitching to a degree. But he's weirdly a revert. The splits are opposite of what you would anticipate them being, given his ratings. So, and he's also not the fielder that Lantigua is either. And there's of course Jacob Melton, who is having a tremendous season down there. But I think we are looking to get a little bit more experimental, and I think it's likely going to be Lantigua's time to shine with us. So we'll just go ahead and call him up, actually. I was thinking I may go off camera to figure it out, but we can sort through it here together. And it also kind of brings us a little bit more balance with our lineups. So if we look at who's hitting in August, the month of August so far, I think it makes sense to bump Omar Alfonso up to the 3-hole, and then Lantigua slides in. We could, I guess, consider going with Carson Benj in more of a full-time role, but I'm sort of content to just use him in his current rotating state. I don't know that we become a better team by pushing him into the starting lineup. I think Lantigua can give us good value, and I think everyone else is hitting. Yeah, Mullins is hitting, so I don't mind him being in the 6th spot. Sanford is hitting. I guess we could also maybe do something along the lines of this. where Horwitz goes down to 3, Sanford goes up to 1. How do we feel about this? I mean, gosh, Horwitz isn't really slugging, but his August splits are like really strong, where he's hitting a crap ton of doubles, 9 doubles. Let's actually go back to the way we had it. I think I don't know, just something about this, speaks to me more. And then we'll go Lantigua here as well. I guess if you're curious about Axel Plaus, only 12 plate appearances, but 750 OPS so far. Negative WAR, but I think he's been okay. How does Lantigua look against left-handed pitching? Yeah, pretty good. Maybe we'll bump him. Well, I don't want to be too aggressive with it. Maybe something like this. Yeah, let's try that. Okay, guys, I'm going to pop off here and finish out the month. Sorry, I'm like, going nonverbal, looking at the lineups. I'm like tweaking a little bit. Let me wrap this up and get back to you. Okay, guys, a little bit up and down here to close out the month. We ended up dropping 3 of 4 against St. Louis on the road, a couple of 1-run games and a 2-run game, so pretty tight series all around. But we're maintaining our first place in the division at 81-54, and our August record ended up finishing at 19-9, so definitely our strongest win percentage on the season, and we're still getting a little bit lucky. We're 4 games over our expected record, so we're in a good spot here at the start of September, but of course we're at roster expansion now, and we can look to bring up some new fresh legs to hopefully build on our 5-game lead here that we have in the Central. And I've already called those players up and tried to organize the depth chart accordingly. So we're not doing anything pitching-wise. We're keeping our same stock pitchers here. We have Dan Beebe as middle relief, use more often, and stopper. And we've toggled Oviedo to avoid high leverage as he is like a negative WAR player. I'm considering swapping him with Bubba as well, just to kind of avoid keep running this out there. He's got 10 meltdowns. I don't know. I feel weirdly obligated to keep him at this point, but he does have an option year left, so I think I may look to do that off camera. But nothing pitching. Lineup-wise, we called up 2 guys. As you can see, Dean Curley and Esther Suero. Both are going to make their MLB debuts here. Curley was just having a tremendous season in AAA. You can look at these numbers. He had over a 1,000 OPS, a 144 WRC+. Plus he had 100 RBI and 35 homers. So just a tremendous production season from him. It's not really reflected too much in his ratings here. But if we go to his splits, he was crushing both sides all year long. And I just felt like he earned the opportunity more than anyone else. So it's a little weird to carry 3 third basemen now on the Major League roster between him, Miller, and Vientos. But I couldn't rationalize keeping him down given his production. And then we also bring up Esther Suero, who in 104 games of action just hit a casual 300 for a 942 OPS and a 125 WRC+. So he's not quite the slugging threat that Curley is, but he brings good outfield defense in the corners and is a switch hitter. So even though he's a little bit more effective against right-handed pitching with the 131 WRC+, he's capable on both sides. So felt like he did enough to earn the call-up as well to get a little extra taste of MLB action. So those are the decisions. Their roles on the team are a little bit limited just because as we had it currently constructed, everyone had a starting role, and we're just kind of working them in as backups. So Dean Curley's going to take the primary third base backup duty with Vientos. Aiden Miller is not really hitting right-handed pitching in the same way he was earlier in the season. He's still very positive against left-handed pitching, but he's below average against right-handed pitching. So we're going to kind of try to hide him for the remainder of the year and give Curley the primary backup there, but he's not going to play all that often. It's just every 6th game. But we are going to use him as a defensive sub late in the ball game because we think he's a plus defender, and those ratings have translated to production at the minor league level as well. So he should get some action in that role at the very least. And then we're kind of like doing a outfield rotation with Suero, where he's also going to DH occasionally as well. So there's a lot of math going on here where it's like avoiding same multiples for like the guy, but it all makes sense to where Suero will rotate in fairly often as our left fielder and DH. So he should get to play in like 2 to 3 games a week with his current setup there. And Lantigua will also get some run at center field a bit because we think he can play that role effectively with his speed and range. So not too much against lefty pitching. We did just kind of swap things around just to optimize. We moved Aiden Miller off second to third base, and then Nick Gonzalez off DH to second to DH Vientos full time. And then we're going to kind of split time here a little more aggressively between Miller and Curley because Curley was, as we just looked, like mashing against left-handed pitching in the minors, had a 171 WRC plus, and his ratings reflect that slightly, where he has that 65 grade power and the good BABIP there. So if he, comes out of the gate slowly, we may look to dial that back. I don't know for certain, but I just kind of wanted to get him as much work as we could, and I obviously didn't want to bench Vientos, who's one of our best hitters against left-handed pitching. So that's sort of the strategy. Again, I think I may look to bump down Oviedo because he's kind of stunk for us lately. If we go to his pitching splits here, August did not treat him kindly with the 9 ERA, but he was good in July, so it's kind of like an every other month thing. I don't know. Although he did have a negative WAR despite the good ERA, his FIP is really high. That's what it is. Goodness. He's had 3 straight months of elevated FIPs. Yeah. Let's send him down, and we'll slot Bubba in to that role as like a low leverage innings eater. He refuses to be demoted. Oh, because he's over 30. Are you kidding me? Oh my gosh. All right, well, I guess we're not doing that then. That was a nice idea, but he's playing. We'll remember this in the offseason, and it's unlikely we're going to bring Oviedo back. But we've got a good chunk of games ahead of us here. I think I'm content to. I know we want to start paying close attention to game by game stuff here. Our magic number is 23, so I don't think any of these games here are all that meaningful, if I'm being totally honest. So I may look to run through this series on the road at Boston, and then this entire homestand against both LA and Milwaukee, and we'll rejoin here on the 11th to kind of review any changes that have taken place. And by then, we'll be nearly halfway through the month, and we can kind of take it a little more slowly from there. So let's keep it rolling. Hopefully we can finish out strong here, guys. I'm really excited to see how we do. Okay, y'all, definitely not our strongest month, I would say here. We're only 3-6 so far in September, so we're kind of stumbling a bit down the stretch here. If we go to the standings, however, we have maintained a very narrow half-game lead on St. Louis, who has surged. I think that series where we faced them at the end of the previous month really gave them a lot of confidence, and we sort of have fallen back since we lost our 3-hole hitter, Termar Johnson. We're now 3-7 over our last 10, so they've tightened it up a bit. But the good news is, if we go to this pennant chase UI and we go down here to the Central, even if we're not going to win the division, which I still think we can, and I hope we do, but our playoff odds are pretty much 100% there, 99.9% chance we make the playoffs, so we can at least feel good about that, and there's no pressure to freak out or anything like that. And if we look at who's projected to get the top seeds in the division, it's LA and Arizona could be fighting for one, and then us and the Cardinals as well. I don't think anyone in the East, they would have to go on a real hot streak to make up the ground in order to get on kind of the level of these 4 teams, but we're going to keep a close eye on it. I think we're going to continue simulating off camera just this next stretch of games here. If I notice that it's getting really tight, I'll hop back on earlier, but I think we're going to do this whole road trip and then possibly these 3 at home against Chicago, and that will just give us 3 series left to simulate on camera together to kind of see what our fate's going to be. But no major updates as far as team performance goes. Like, we're just losing like kind of tough against tough opponents. LA especially put up a bunch of runs against us. I think our pitching is like a little bit weak right now. Thomas Harrington has not been good over his last 2 games, and Oviedo and Thomas White and Jojo Romero are all pretty terrible. But let me keep moving here. We're going to wrap up, like I mentioned, this road series at Baltimore, Washington, and then we come back home for 3 against Chicago. I will see you again on the 21st of September. Okay, guys, back here, and it is time to put up or shut up. It's crunch time. We only have 3 series left in the whole season. As you can see, our last week of play started off really horribly. I was about to crash out in these first couple of games here, but we managed to turn it around, and we've won the last 5 straight that we've played. A couple of just really brutal ones in here. We lose in 15 to Baltimore, where we just cannot lock them down late in the game, and they come back against us. And this one as well, this 7-8 loss was, really frustrating because we had them late. They come back for 4 in the 9th, and I'm looking at the box score and I'm like, what did we do wrong? And where is our closer? Why is Dan Beebe allowed to give up 4 earned runs in the we're not helping him at all. Get freaking Abreu in there. What is our manager doing? And they were off singles too, so it wasn't like a grand slam. He was getting hit for, I don't know. When I think about it, it's triggering. But now we're at the end of the year, we're gonna just run through this live and kind of see how it plays out. If you go to the standings here, we are 1 game up on the Reds, who have surged 8-2. They've overtaken St. Louis, so now it's between us and them. Our magic number is 9. And the Dodgers currently look like they're going to take home the top seed in the NL. But, we're in a good position. Should we, manage to hold off Cincinnati to take the other, top seed? Miami is lurking. If you remember, their manager is actually Andrew McCutchen, which is really funny. This is his first year as their manager. They're having a really good season, 9-1 over their last 10. So they are surging. They're only 3 behind us in terms of, trying to grab that number 2 seed. If you're curious about the on-field performance, things have been they've sort of settled in. O'Neal Cruz has gone really cold, and his WRC plus has dropped all the way down to 104 on the season. So not only is he cold in September, he was cold all of August as well. So I'm really hoping to see him turn it around. I don't feel like I just want to keep him in the cleanup spot. I can't. He's our guy. We got to stick with him, and hopefully he can turn it around. But we have reshuffled the lineup a bit. We bumped up Vientos. Lantigua is here. Alfonso was a little bit cold. We bumped him back down. And this seems to have been working. Lantigua is doing really awesome for us. OPSing 794. He's been above average at the dish and a positive WAR player for us overall through 19 games. Dean Curley, on the other hand, has just kind of been whatever. He's not been super tremendous for us. 14 games, but only 18 plate appearances. A lot of his games are just him being a defensive sub, and he's striking out half the time, which is, we definitely knew it was a risk with him, but I don't know. I kind of just still having him for the defensive sub value, and if he hits, it's fine. It's whatever. I don't think long-term this profile is something we're going to be interested in playing regularly, but I just felt like his strong production warranted the call-up, and we're going to stand by him for the last couple of weeks here. But let's get to it. Our pitching situation, we've got Jared Jones up here. He's fully rested and ready to take on this game against, looks like Braxton Garrett for the Athletics. So we've got 3 more on the home at home here before we wrap the season on the road. And actually, before we get started, I was going to look at our finances, and look at that. We're in the green, We are up 2.7% on our attendance per game. Look at this graph. We've just been maxing out our stadium over the last couple of weeks, and I think we're hopefully going to be safe with ownership between this and our strong record and increase in fan interest. Surely this is enough to get renewed for another 3 to 4 years of Pirates GMing. But okay, we've danced around enough. Let's go through these games here and see if we can clinch. Oh my God, what is this? Sore elbow, minimal effect. And Edward Lantigua, I'm seeing, has a diagnosis pending, a leg injury. That is really scary. I hope it's not like a ligament tear or anything like that. That would obviously not be very good. And that's going to open up more playing time for Carson Bench and Esther Suero. But what's the deal here with Gonzalez? It influences throwing moderately. So I'm wondering if we just let him ride through it or not. And we lost 10-2. Just brutal. Who can we blame for this? I mean, 8 runs in the 8th inning. Are you joking? Who did it? De La Paz? This is the worst stat line I've ever seen from him in his 2 years up with us. Oh my goodness. And it couldn't have come at a worse time, obviously. What? Pull him out of the game. What are we doing? Get him out of there. Why is he just getting destroyed? Is everyone else tired? I guess Brash is gassed. Abreu is somewhat gassed. I don't know what we could have done. I need to pop off camera and just sorry for the false start. This is too much for me to handle. I gotta reset here. All right, we've walked it off. Let's keep it going here. We haven't made really any changes, and we still don't know the severity of Lantigua's leg injury just yet. But let's keep it moving here. Still have hope that we can pull this off. So let's see how this game goes. We win 8-1, and he's been diagnosed with a hamstring strain that will put him out for 3 weeks. So that's really tough for him. Gonna throw him on the 10-day. And that will just allow Suero to slide in. Suero has been okay, fine. He hasn't really done all that much for us, if I'm being honest. But or we just throw I like how the rotation is going for Carson Bench. So I think maybe we go Suero against righties. I have a plan here, actually. I'm cooking up a plan where we're going to go Suero there, and then we're going to call up oh no, what's up with Valdez? He has calf soreness? Okay, but it's a minimal impact injury. But I'm thinking they can platoon, and Valdez can take the lefty at bats. Or we could possibly call up Melton, I guess. All right, sorry for the other false start. 2 straight false starts in our most exciting run here. Let me just figure it out. I'll be back. All right, y'all. After two false starts, we're back, and I've made some adjustments here, and I think we're gonna be fine. Basically, there are a couple moving parts, but we're calling up Esmeralda Valdez, the kind of big righty power bat that we have sitting at AAA, who has been really strong down there on the year as a whole, and we think he's going to be a real kind of lefty masher against us, even though he may strike out quite a bit, but he's definitely going to bring a lot of pop, and he can kind of fill in at the corner outfields. Essentially what we're doing is we're removing Carson Bench from his rotation. He's red hot. We need him to play as much as we can down the stretch. These numbers aren't even filtered by the most recent month, just on the year. He's at a 138 WRC plus, so he's really heated up. So we're going to bump him up to the 3 spot to kind of fill that Termar role. And then Suero will take, back up there, and then Valdez will kind of rotate in at DH and also with O'Neal Cruz in the outfield as well. And we're going to give O'Neal back the center field backup role that Lantigua was taking. So essentially, we're just pushing Benj into the starting lineup, and Suero and Valdez are going to take backup reps. And then against lefty pitching, Benj is not going to play, and Valdez is going to get run in left field because, as we mentioned, we are optimistic he can hit lefty for us. So those are the adjustments. Maybe we can be spared of any injuries here as we continue to simulate. We're still up 1 on Cincinnati, and our magic number is now 7. So it's going to be a photo finish for the division. We actually play them next series, so those games are going to be really tight. But let's see what we do here to wrap up our series against the Athletics at home. And we lose in heartbreaking fashion. I mean, we just couldn't get the offense going. Let's take a look at our performance here. Benj was 2 for 4 in his three-hole debut. It's just the bottom half of our lineup didn't really hit at all, which is unfortunate. And then our pitching, Holton gave up 1 late, but it didn't really matter. I think we can blame this one on the offense. So we have an off day here. And let's check and see where we're positioned. Still 1 up on Cincinnati, so this will likely decide the outcome of our division this series right here. So we have Burrows on the bump, who has been kind of up and down. He's had 2 subpar games, but his most recent one was really strong. And we will be going up against Chase Petty for them, who seems to be a positive WAR player, although his FIP is a little high. He's kind of just an average guy for them. But that's famous last words. He's obviously going to shove against us here. Let's see. We have to go on the road to their park. I'm debating if I even want to have our players rotate in or not. I'm wondering how everyone's fatigue is doing. I think we're fine. These games are just so critical. I just kind of want to scrap all of this. So let me actually take a screenshot so I can set this back up later. And then I'm going to just set all of these to if starter is tired so we can make sure our best guys are playing in this series for all 3 games. And it looks like we're going against right-handed pitching for every game, so we don't even have to do anything against lefties. So, okay, here we go. Mike Burrows versus Chase Petty. Fingers crossed. Oh, something bad happened. 2 weeks with a sprained thumb. What is going on with our team, dog? It's minimal impact. I'm inclined to let him play through it. Is that crazy? Every time I try to start recording, something awful happens, and we lost 13-4. Is this a joke? They go off for 7 in the 6th. Dan Beebe's getting crushed. Dan Beebe has an ERA in the 6s, guys. Holton gives up 5. Oh my gosh. Burrows doesn't even make it through 4. He gives up 5. Cedric Mullins is injured running the bases. He sprains his thumb running the bases. That's ridiculous. I think given it's a minimal impact, we're going to keep him out there. I'm just so desperate to keep our momentum going here. God, we've just been decimated by injury here. I assume everyone's yeah, no one needs a rest day. We're still fresh. Okay, we have Hunter Green now. Or no, we have Rodriguez, it looks like. I'm not sure who that is. But that was enough to tie us in the division, obviously. But we get our best guy, Jared Jones. Fully rested, 100% rest. Okay, so, gosh. Our pitching is just, gassed. I don't understand. We have, Oviedo, De La Paz, Brash, and Abreu all available. Dan Beebe should be available. Okay, let's just see what happens. Oh, a 1-run loss. 4-3, we go down. They had it the whole way. We added one in the ninth, but it wasn't enough. I don't know what to do, guys. I don't know what to do. I thought this was our best option. I mean, decent game from Jones. Not the best, obviously, with the 4 runs. He gave up 3 homers. Yikes. It's probably because of the park factor. Cam Collier hit 3 dingers. All 3 homers to the same guy. That's ridiculous. All right, so now we're on the freaking outside looking in, 1 game back. We got to equalize this. We have to have this one. Jack Flaherty is up. He's fully rested. He will face Hunter Green here. And oof. Yeah, I'm just like scoping out, like, maybe New York can come back and knock out St. Louis. I'm unsure what that is, but we have our magic number is 1 to just simply clinch the playoffs. So hopefully we can do that here. But we need this one real bad, guys. I had a bad feeling. I knew it was going to go poorly, just like based on the vibes alone. And they tack on 8 in the 7th and 8th. That's outrageous, dude. What is going on? Dan Beebe gives up 4 in... Oh my gosh, he's broken. He's broken. He's going down the same path as Bubba. This is not good, you guys. I don't understand. He's like obviously a star player. His ERA plus is 50. He has an 8.31 ERA. Every game he appears in, he's giving up like a grand slam or something. And then it doesn't help when we get 5 hits, can't tack on a run. Tremendous game from Hunter Green, 7 innings, walking 2, only giving up 3 hits, striking out 7. So we clinch a spot in the postseason despite our loss, but I don't know that we have a... Yeah, we can relax now. I'm not relaxing at all, buddy. We have 3 more against Atlanta to finish out the season. I don't know that we have any, chance to make up the division lead. And I don't know who Cincinnati plays. They play Milwaukee, who has not been very good this year. They're a sub-500 team. How is Atlanta? They are above 500, of course, but they have also been eliminated from the playoffs. So how funny would it be if New York were to vault St. Louis and we were to get to face Paul Skeens in the playoffs? That would be pretty exciting. But we're not going to look too far ahead to that. I'm questioning if I made the right call to bench all of our players or, adjust all of that rotational stuff down the stretch here. But let's just keep going. I think our fate is pretty much sealed at this point. So we're going to gut out a win here against Atlanta. It looks like Nick Gonzalez had a big game, 3 RBI. Alfonso pushed 1 across as well. And then Mullins walked twice. So despite his injury, he's still continuing to perform. Carson Benj left 5 on base, and he did walk once, but he didn't really do much with the runners on. And finally, our bullpen holds it down. Mitch Keller with a good game. He hasn't had a good game in a really long time. But, okay, let's check the standings here. We're 1 back. Looks like Cincinnati lost yesterday. So if we're not dead yet, we can still possibly pull this out. But we have freaking Thomas Harrington up here, who has not been very good for us lately. Although he did have a good game last time, so let's not hate on him just yet. Let's see what he can do here against, who is this, Grant Holmes? Yeah, he's still with Atlanta. Interesting. But okay, 7:05 Saturday night baseball. Here we go. We need the win. Oh, we're going to have to save as well because it's the end of the month. I mean, this will pretty much dictate if we have a shot to win the division or not. And I actually don't even, if we were to tie, I don't even know what our head-to-head is against Cincinnati, but I would imagine it's not good. They they would likely own any tiebreaker. So we need them to lose in addition to us winning. But let's see how the chips fall here to close out September. We lose 11-7, so I think that's likely, that's it for us. Yeah, we're 2 games back now. So we're pretty much locked into a wild card at this point. It's just going to be, I guess it's actually in question if it's even like hosted at Pittsburgh or not. Because we're going to have to just win this last game or, hope St. Louis loses against whoever they're playing. They're playing the Cubs, and the Cubs have not been very good this season, definitely sub 500. So we kind of need to be strategic here about who we're going to start. And I feel good about giving Burrows the ball. He's been one of our best pitchers all season. Jones is not quite ready yet. And I would want to save him for the wild card series anyway. So, let's see how this one went wrong. We give up 6 in the 8th inning. What is going on? Am I going crazy here? Am I taking crazy pills? Tyler Holton gives up 5. How is he in the game so long? And where is Abreu? Where is Abreu? Put Abreu in the game. He's our best, pitcher. Is this some kind of joke? He hasn't pitched all week, dude. He's fresh. Is this oh my God, what do I need to do here? 8th plus? I guess, totally my fault there. No common sense from our manager, Brazaban. He's walking on thin ice. Overall, our stats in September, we're 10-16. We're a 40 win percentage team. We're everything is regressing here. Not good across the board, although our run scored did jump up to 4th, so I guess that's somewhat positive. How are we compared to expectation? We're still getting lucky. And, okay, let's see. I called up Valdez, and he hasn't even gotten in at bat, you guys. I feel bad. Totally scrapping the rotations there at the end, but I feel like that was our best choice. Anyway, let's see if we can secure home field for the wild card series here. It will be they don't actually even have a starter listed, so I'm not sure who the projected Lucas Braun. Okay, we ought to be able to touch him up, guys. Surely we can get it going here. We really need the... Oh my gosh, look at Carson Benj is on such an extended heater. 27 games. He's batting 370, 12 homer. Okay. Let's see how we do here. Finishing out the year. We need the win so badly, guys. We need it. We lose 10-0. Are you kidding me? 10-0 is how we finish out. We're going to the playoffs. Oh, Malcolm Nunez retired. I kind of had eyes on him. Oh my gosh, you guys. This is awful. What am I even looking for? Standings here. Playoff tree. Okay. Miami sneaks in. Wow. Well, I guess they were always going to win the division. I think we were looking at whether the Mets would beat out St. Louis. Sorry, I'm all messed up here. We're going to be on the road at Arizona for our series regardless. It looks like, we're going to have to just gut it out. I don't even know if we would have, I guess we wouldn't have even gotten home field against Miami, or would we have? Who had the better record here? Oh, they actually tied. And we finished 91. And am I making this? What happened at the end of the year here? Okay, we did keep the second wild card spot, but we were not all right. I'm totally tweaking you guys. My bad. Just a fundamental misunderstanding of how the playoffs are structured on my end. But we made it in. We can breathe a sigh of relief. We got to set up our playoff roster together, and it looks like, we've got some player development updates to go through. And I'm just reading all of these messages here. But let's see if anyone had meaningful improvements just like really quickly. Our guy Ben Small, we'll do a quick check-in. At the A-ball year, he got 35 games and OPS 850 at just 19 years old, so he's looking really good. Slight regression in his potential, but that always happens, and looks like he's already performing pretty well. But what a finish to the year, guys! It was full of drama and ups and downs. So we had euphoric moments and really intense crash outs as well. But hopefully it was entertaining to watch. I think we're going to leave the episode off here at the cliffhanger of the playoffs. So thank you so much for sticking with me through this one. I really appreciate your viewership and your continued viewership on the series. It's been really fun to make up until this point. If you have any thoughts on our run here and my management down the stretch, definitely leave them in the comment section below. But in next video, we're going to look to go through all of the playoffs here, and I'll try not to dance around it too long. We'll just go series by series, and then we'll kind of review the stats of the team as a whole, hopefully at the end of the video, and kind of look ahead to the offseason. But I don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves. The main thing to look forward to, obviously, is our series here against Arizona. And then if we manage to gut out a victory here, obviously the Dodgers kind of loom in the next round. So should be pretty exciting. I hope to see you come back for that one tomorrow in tomorrow's video. But I'll sign off here. Like I mentioned, I appreciate your time and you choosing to watch this series. It really means a lot. But I'll see you guys soon with the 2028 playoffs. Take it easy.